Hey everyone, thanks for taking the time to hang out with me, Bearded Audio ASMR, while I answer 25 questions that were put forth, as far as I know, by GB ASMR, to kind of better understand why I do what I do, why I like what I like and don't like, and so maybe we can get to know each other better, and build a better kind of future of ASMR. We kind of build a community. It's going to be great, so I'm just going to dive right in to question 1. When was the first time I experienced ASMR? I don't know. Middle school, probably. I can definitely recall no specific time, but moments of feeling euphoria when a teacher would be talking, or a guest speaker, or somebody where I would think to myself, man, I could listen to them talk forever, and just kind of, be like, oh, just that weird feeling of peace and calmness that comes over you. I think euphoria actually happens to me more than a feeling of physical tingles. I do get those sometimes, but often it's mostly just a feeling of calmness and peace that I get from ASMR. And so I would say middle school, maybe earlier, is about where I would notice moments like that. When was the first time I watched ASMR on YouTube? Probably about 6 months ago. My wife came to me and she was like, Ian, have you heard of ASMR? And I was like, no. And she's like, it's like this crazy thing that me and a couple friends found out about. Check it out. She thought I'd like it because I've always been an audio guy my entire life, whether it's studio or live or sound design, composition. That's what I do. It's what I got my bachelor's degree in. And so she showed it to me. I remember thinking, this is really weird. And I don't remember who the artist was, but I was also drawn to it. And over time, I found artists that I liked, and I was able to kind of dive more into the community. But at first, I was a little abrasive. And so it was about 6 months ago. What is my favorite unintentional ASMR video on YouTube? I would have to say it's this video of he's Irish or he's Scottish, guy chiseling into a rock, and he's just kind of talking about like his life and how he chisels and why he chisels, and just like life lessons. And he's one of those voices that you could just listen to forever. I'm like, yes, teach me the ways, like master. Like, I just love his voice and just the constant sound of him chiseling into the rock, and blowing the kind of debris away after he's done chiseling a little bit, and just the sound of the movement. It's a very audio-wise, it's a very intimate video, and it's a video I can watch over and over and over again and keep returning to it, and I really like it. Alright, who are the last 5 ASMRtists that I listened to? Those would be, the past couple of nights, has been Sophie Michelle ASMR. She has one that's like a men's shave, and then one that's a sleep trigger clinic thing, and I really liked both of those. Both of them, I was asleep probably about halfway through the video. Only took about 15 minutes before I was just out, and that's even without headphones, because I didn't bring, on this trip I'm on, I'm in I'll talk more about my setup later, but I'm in an RV right now, and I didn't bring my headphone dongle to go from my iPhone 8 to headphones, so I was even able to fall asleep without a really powerful stereo field. And so Sophie, great job. I love those videos. I also have watched GB. I'm a big fan of her. She does a lot of really, really great videos. I have watched, I have a horrible time pronouncing his name. I have it here. Turar A. de Guayo. Sorry, dude. He does like funny to me it's funny ASMR stuff where he's like a conspiracy theorist, and he's got these like stories that he tells, and I like his stuff a lot just because it's really funny. I love ASMR Surge, because that's a lot of just no talking. It's just like soap cutting, or just like wooden sounds. It's all very just very pleasing audio, and usually don't even watch the video stuff because I love the audio stuff so much. I'll just put it on when I'm falling asleep and just toss my phone on the ground or whatever. And then finally, there's also, I think it's Best Unintentional ASMR, which is where the video of that Irish guy chiseling is posted, and they have a lot of really, really fantastic unintentional ASMR videos. What is my favorite trigger to listen to? It's a great question. I think it's probably the sound of like not rubbing, but there's something about movement across the surface that I love, whether it's scratching, it can be tapping, but a great example would be there's a channel called Grand Illusions, and there can be some unintentional ASMR there, but it's a guy just going through random collections of stuff that he collects. Like, it literally could be anything. He's just a collector, and he does a lot of stuff where he'll show whatever he's doing on a table, and when he's done with it, he'll push it across the table, and there's something in that sound of him pushing it across the table that I just love every time. And I could listen to that sound forever. So it's just a sound of movement across the surface, I think, is very specifically one of my favorite triggers. What is my least favorite? I think that is very up close watery sounds. I don't mind the sound of water dripping or splashing, but there's this like in a syringe or in a bottle or something like that. I can't stand it. I fell asleep once watching somebody, and when I woke up to the sound of whoever was auto playing after 4 hours of me sitting there asleep, of this guy just with water like right up on it, like right in my ears. And I remember waking up and just being like, "Get this out of my head!" Like, this is horrible. And so that I hate that. And GB asked us in this to give an example of that or to do that trigger. I don't have any syringes or anything, but I'm going to try and recreate it with my mouth. We'll see if this works, but it's like the ish. I don't even know. I think that was just sucking. But it's something like that. It like physically makes me like upset. I really don't like it. Do I use ASMR to relax and fall asleep? The answer to that is yes, almost exclusively. I will occasionally use it to just concentrate, or as background sound in my headphones, but for the most part, it's just, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to throw on some ASMR. What is my bedtime routine? I am a late 20s father of 3, with a wife who loves staying up late. She's a night owl, and so my routine is I kind of just go to bed whenever. I don't have one. I say, all right, well, I'm tired, I'm going to bed, and then I throw on my PJs, and which is usually just slowly taking off clothes as I walk to the room and then falling in bed, and then I'll throw on some ASMR and I'm out. I don't really have a routine. What is my favorite trigger to do? I love the sound of ping pong analog tape delay. You will be aware of that if you've watched anything else on my channel, and so I'm going to do it right now and you'll get an idea of what it is. So I've got, for example, this box here, and if I do some tapping, oh, tapping's so nice. Now I'll throw some delay on top of that. Or if I rub. It's even cool on a voice. So if I just keep talking and you hear it, it's trippy. I love it. I don't know if that triggers anything for anybody, but I love to do it. How long does it take for me to make a video? I would say 2 hours. If I aim for a half-hour video, I record the video, and then I transfer it to my computer, which usually doesn't take very long, but I do that, and then I'll bring it into my recording software, or my editing software, which is called Reaper. I'll get more into that later. I'll line up the video with the audio that I've recorded, and I will add some, then if you watch my channel, you notice I do a lot of stuff with an app called Base Shapes, and it's a real-time audio visualizer. The reason I do that is because I don't have a great setup right now for video. Right now, this is being recorded on my phone in a very controlled environment, the inside of an RV, and when I get something that's better that I can have is like a dedicated, this is my video setup for ASMR, then I will do more of myself, because I know that the visual aspect of it is very much a part of the whole ASMR package. But right now I use this kind of trippy visualizer thing, so I'll run the audio through that, which triggers that while I'm recording it using broadcast software called OBS, which is what a lot of streamers use. And I record that, bring that back in, line everything up, and then I render it in Reaper as a movie file, and I render it as an MP3 because I also do this as a podcast. And then I upload it, and everything, I mean, it'll take about 2 hours. Have I ever gotten the tingles, or I would say a feeling of euphoria from my own videos while I'm recording? No, not at all. Afterwards, maybe. It depends. I do go back and listen to my stuff, kind of as quality control, and I think this also bleeds into the next question, which is, do I watch my own videos? And the answer is I do, because I love that sound of the analog tape delay, and because it's randomized, I'm not in control of it, and so it still surprises me even after I've put out that video, so I can go back and listen to it. I kind of just ignore my own voice. But if I just want something very specific that I think, oh, I did that, I'll just listen to my own thing and fall asleep listening to it, then I will, because I'm conceited, I guess. I don't know. What software do I use to edit? I use Reaper, which is primarily an audio editing software, but it does do video, and I think it does it very well. And so I do it all in one, and I love that it's audio first, because I do a lot of, I'll do compression, I'll do EQ, I add limiters, everything so that I can make the audio as good as I possibly can. And then the video, it's kind of secondary to me right now. I think once I do end up getting something that's more dedicated, I will go to something that's more video first, like Premiere Pro. Because, for example, right now, Reaper doesn't support rendering to 4K. And so, while that's not a concern of mine right now, I would like to be able to do that in the future. And so, yeah. I think if you're on a budget, Reaper is, if you buy it, it's $60. If you don't, it's an unlimited free demo that's a full program, and it's amazing. Really, really powerful, and I love it. What time of the day do I film? Kind of any time of the day. Right now, it's like 6 p.m. This, again, is because I'm by myself in my own weird little environment. If I'm at home, the kids have to be asleep. I haven't recorded while Kelsey's awake yet, but that would be like midnight, 12:30. I'll record, and then I'll edit it the next day. But right now, it's whenever I can get some peace and quiet, I'll record. What is my favorite video that I've made? I think I'm going to cheat and say it's this one, because this is the one that's going to be able to get me, this is the one that's going to help people get to know me. But as far as triggers and stuff goes, I did one not too long ago. I think I uploaded it a couple of days ago. That's just tapping on. It's using the cardboard box that I had used earlier. It's unboxing that, the contents inside, it's tapping, it's scratching. I think it's from a just triggering aspect. I think it's a really, really solid video, and I'm really proud of it. Has one of my videos had an unexpected negative fan reaction? Not really negative. I didn't expect it, but somebody commented on one of my videos saying, hey, it was like a constructive criticism. It was like, hey, the last trigger in your video was your loudest. If I was asleep, that might have wake me up or woken me up. And so I would recommend putting that first, put your loudest triggers first. And I thought, that's super smart. So I'm just going to do that moving forward. So unexpected, but I am very thankful for the advice. What video of mine do I think didn't get the love it deserved? Well, I've been at channel for 2 weeks, so I don't know that I can even answer this question because nobody knows who I am, and I haven't put out anything enough to compare it to anything else. So I don't have an answer to this yet. I don't think I can answer this question yet. What is something the audience doesn't know about the behind the scenes of my channel? My channel? I'm not too sure. I'm going to kind of rephrase this and say about my setup. Right now, I have a phone in a selfie stick on a mic stand with a light clamped onto that same mic stand. 2 dynamic microphones that are going into microphone activators and going into my mixer. And so my video setup is super ghetto rigged, but it's working. And my microphone setup, I think, is actually not normal. Usually you have a USB condenser microphone like the Yeti, or you have 2 condenser microphones. But I have 2 cardioid microphones, which are like your regular old handheld microphones that are going into what are called mic activators, which boost the signal about 25 dB without raising the noise floor. So I'm able to get a really isolated, crisp, and clear sound from these microphones without having to worry about a lot of the surrounding area, which condensers will pick up. And so there's a lot of microphone knowledge and kind of tech talk in there. And maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't. But so I use different microphones than other people, and my video setup is super ghetto rigged. And that's the behind the scenes. What is the most absurd request I've received from a fan? I have received no requests. If you would like to request something, please feel free to comment on a video or tweet at me. Whatever. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing weird videos and do whatever I want. Do my family and friends know that I do ASMR? I have come out of the closet as an ASMRtist. I don't think there's anything weird or ashamed about being affected by ASMR or loving it or being a part of the community or being a content creator. As soon as I made my YouTube channel, I went on Instagram and I followed like all my friends and followed like everyone on Twitter that I know. I'm like, hey, I'm doing this weird thing. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. Some people are like, dude, I love this stuff. Other people are like, this is weird. And my little brother commented on one of my Instagram videos going, have you lost your mind? And I responded, a little bit, yes, I have, and I'm enjoying it. And so I think it's completely fun, and again, there's nothing. I think it's misunderstood. I think there's a lot of really, really weird ASMR videos out there. I think it can be very sexualized, and so I think that people can have a very negative idea of it. But so sometimes I get a weird look from someone like, dude, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm whispering into your ears, bro. If you don't like it, don't listen. Okay. Have I ever been recognized in public for ASMR? No. I would be shocked if that was true. I have been for music, and I'll leave it at that. What inspires my video ideas? I am weird, especially when it comes to the world of audio. I love random sounds. I'll hear something and ask whoever I'm with, like, oh, did you hear that? That was awesome. I get inspired by everyday things, like, perfect. There happens to be a rubber band on the floor right here, so I will pick up this rubber band and I'm going to put my headphones on. Because I have no idea what this is going to sound like. And let's find out. You can hear my jacket over the sound of the rubber band, but it's grabbing random stuff and being like, what's that sound like? Like a tape. I love it. So it's turning on my system and grabbing stuff and seeing what it sounds like. I get inspired by other ASMRtists and who will, I'll see them tapping on something or using an object, and I'll think, oh, I want to find something like that because that would be really fun to mess with and kind of put my own spin on it. I get inspired by Foley, which is the art of making audio for movies in post-production to try and make like real world sounds, like, you know, someone's in a boat or whatever. It's the sound of the boat in the water that they didn't capture when they were actually filming the scene. So you got to do everything in a studio. So you got to make it sound like the boat's in water. You got to make it sound like they're actually grabbing the oars, that they're actually paddling. It's making that scene seem incredibly natural. And there's something about recording ASMR, I think, that really ties into the world of Foley. And that is hearing a sound and thinking, what else that could be, you know? So I heard someone recently had a pillow that was made for a bath. So it was kind of like this weird waterproof cushioned thing, and they were just kind of crunching it and squeezing it, and to me it sounded exactly like a rock slide. And as soon as I thought rock slide, it's so hard for me to not hear the sound and think that's a pillow. Like, to me it became a rock slide. And I do that with a lot of different sounds. And I don't even remember what the question was. What inspires me? Weird stuff. Where do I find myself spending most of my time online? Definitely Reddit and Twitter. A little bit of Instagram, but I would say it's like 70% Reddit, 30% Twitter. I've gotten involved in the ASMR community. If you've seen posts with the subject line, being bearded audio ASMR, that's me. I am bearded ASMR on Twitter. They only allow 15 characters, so I couldn't do bearded audio ASMR on Twitter. I had to cut it to just bearded ASMR. I'll have a link to Instagram and Twitter below. But I do find myself, mostly on Reddit and Twitter. I think that's it for the most part. So what advice would I give to somebody who wants to make ASMR content? You want to be an ASMRtist. My advice would be just do it. Stop giving yourself excuses to not. If you can record yourself in any capacity, you have a phone, probably, you can. Just, like, there's nothing to be afraid of. The ASMR community is super friendly. My setup isn't ideal, especially my video. I think my audio is pretty good, but my video is totally not ideal, but I wanted to do it. I dove in. I'm making it work. So just start. Stop making up excuses for not doing it. You are good enough. You are capable of doing it, and you can bring fresh new ideas to the scene. So please do. I will happily subscribe. I will happily follow you on Twitter. Whatever. Just let me know who you are. I think that does it. That's question 25. So Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for getting to know me a little bit better. If you have any questions about me or you have requests or whatever, just comment, let me know. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and that's going to be it. Yeah, I think I might do something with that rubber band.